Hi everybody. Shaky cam. I'm here at Brickomania and I have to make some wires for the layout, and I thought I'd actually do a video beginning to end of that and upload it and see what happens. So here we go. I have little to no idea how this is going to work because now that you're on my so anyway, you have a little very small screwdriver, flathead. That's what I've been using. And you have this guy, and I've cut all the wires off. But you can see there are two tabs under. I'm in Quebec, so I'm going to talk French. Parlez-vous français? Under 1, 2. And what you do, and you see that there's this little gap here. Oh, here we go. There's a little gap here between the two. And this is where you can hide the wire in your builds. But so what you do is you just slide. Here we go. This is odd that I'm doing this. You can see where the screwdriver is. It's kind of half in, half out, right up the top, and you slide it right to the top, and you kind of pull it down to get the tab out of the cover. I'll say this is the cover. And if you do this, sure, I've worked 5 times before. No, it's not doing it here. So you got to slide it up around the tab. And there we go. As soon as you see that this has got a little bit out in the bottom here, that's when you know the tab is out of that hole. And then you do the same thing the other side. You slide it in, and I took a grinder to my screwdriver just to make it really, really thin, not razor sharp, but thin enough to get into there. And slide it up, past it. Come on, sure, do this bad now. I love this stage fright that these things always get, because I did 4 just now, and I thought I was gonna make a video. So anyway, so now this thing, you can see the bottom is being pushed out, and you just kind of stick it in there like that, and you just kind of pull it right off. So now it's come apart. Here's the old zombified wire, so that's gone. This is the bottom piece of plastic, and here's the inside of the clippy. Now what you have to do next is you have to, and you can get away with not doing this depending on how straight. There's these little steel clippies in here, these little steel connectors in here, and you want to make sure they're perfectly parallel to like there's two sets of 2, 1, 2 here on this. Let's get my screwdriver. There's one there and one there. That's on the same half here, and then you got one there and one there is on this half. And basically what happens when you insert the wire into this, it pushes down, and those 2 clippies cut the coating of the wire and nip into the bite into the actual metal, the wire inside the insulation. So make sure they're perfectly straight up and down. That's one of the things you have to do. And then you also have to make sure that you have this guy. Okay, so you got those 2. And then you get your spool of wire. And you say, how long do I want to make this? And right now I think I want to make this. Usually I try to make it the same length as the original ones. But for this one it's going to be like just this random length, because I just ran out of wire. So I'm going to get probably, we'll say 1, 2, maybe 3 feet, and then you get your snippers. Here's your snippers. Where am I here? Snippers. And your wire cutters. And you snip. Done. So now we have approximately a 3-foot wire right here, 2 ends on it. Perfect. And then what I've always done, and I might have to do this down here, it's kind of hard to do this up in the air, is I lay the wire across the bottom plate that you pulled off. So here's the bottom plate. This is the outside where the studs interface with it from the bricks below. And this is the inside. This is what goes inside the thing. And there's this little depression right here in the middle. This little well or depression hole right in the middle. And what you want to do is you want to lay your wire so it just gets to the end here. So it's right on the end. Then you hold the end like that. And then you get something, and I just use the same needle nose pliers. And you push the rest of the wire into the hole like that. I find this works really, really well. to pre-press the wire into the hole. Now the wire is actually stuck in there. You can see the wire stuck in there a little bit, and this thing still has an end on it, and that's the where it comes out. So then you get your, oops, then you get your top, come on top, you get your top, and you press it right on top. So basically it's exactly where it has to be, like that, and you press it straight on. And you can hear it, but you can still see sometimes that it's not all the way pressed in. And then I always put it down on a flat surface like that. Yeah, and can you see it? Yeah, there we go. Now you can see it. And then I use my needle nose here, and I'll press this thing till you hear the click. Yeah, like that. So now that is pressed in. And now it looks just like the original, right? You got the wire hanging out. And now before you put the second end on, the other end on the other side, you want to test it. So I'll get that. And then you want to get your multimeter, and you want to put it on connectivity. This is a cheap one. I got at Canadian Tire for absolutely hardly anything. And then what you want to do is you want to grab one of the testing leads. You want to put it in your fingers there with the wire like that, so you can test the wire. So you touch this end of the tester to one of the connectors on the 9-volt plate there, and you touch the two ends. Let me see if I can get this up there. So you touch one end, not that, there it is. And you also want to try the other side too to make sure it's not shorted. So that's not, and then so that end's connected, and then you go to the other side. You can't see it, sorry. And then I'm gonna just test the one side, make sure it's not shorted, and test the other side. And so that both wires here have connectivity to the ends here. So each wire goes to one side, which is what you want. So that's this one side done, and now we'll do the other. I already took this one apart, and so I'm just gonna make sure that the pins are vertical. If they're slightly bent, it will not work. I found that out. If they're slightly bent, they have to be straight up and down in there. And sometimes I'll even like try to push them together just a tiny bit, not a lot. You don't need to bend the metal too much to get them touching, because if it's too loose, it will not cut through the rubber insulation on the wire to make connectivity. So let's see. Actually, I can see this better in the camera than I can in real life here, because it seems to be zoomed in. So there's that. And then what you also have to do, well, let's put the side, is that the wire you just created, put that side up or bottom, doesn't matter, but then you have to make sure that the wire that you're putting on the other end, the wire itself, make sure it's going to be exactly the same. You don't want to flip them. So what this one side here is up. Make sure the wire's not twisted, and make sure that this side's going to be up. If you flip it over, you're going to run into some problems when you're building, because the motor will be backwards. The motor will be traveling backwards if you do that the wrong way. So again, I pushed the wire into the hole in the middle. The end's still there, and this thing is ready to go. And then we'll just push it down until we hear the click. And you hope that it got in there properly. And this one, I'll just again push it down here because this helps. There we go. So more of a click there. More of a click there. Perfect. So now this end is on. So now we're going to test both connectivities. And this is where you can see if you flip the wire over, because this side and this side should be on the same wire, and this side should be on the same wire if you didn't flip the wire over. So we will go here. We'll get the mighty connectors, the mighty testers. So like I'll show you here, so that'll beep, right? But if you go here, it should also beep, because I'll separate that so you can see better. So this wire here goes to this wire here, and that wire goes there, blah, blah, blah. So that's perfect. And then we also want to make sure we didn't short it. So test this side, right? No, these are connected, so you don't have to test both. You just test one at a time. And you can even test it here to make sure it's not shorted there. But you go over to the other side here, like that. And you go over here. And you can hear it beeping. So you know that side is, so this is fully connected. And the surest way, if I think I have something here, if this battery box doesn't have a dead battery in it, and I had Here it is. I have a light right there, a little light. So I'll put one in the battery box, and the other end, if the 9-volt battery's not dead, and the 9-volt battery's not dead. So this is a fantastic wire, brand new rubber, brand new wire for the old 9-volt system. And you can see it's not that difficult. Now there is some finesse to it. You have to be, quote unquote, a little careful. I've had completed wires like this and then used them twice and they stopped working because maybe they didn't get connected properly and it came loose inside. Also, you will see here that this end is a little bent out. That happens sometimes. You can push it back in before you put the bottom back on, and then you won't see that as much. But that's from us, of course, using the screwdriver to pull out the thing. I haven't found a better way or an easier way of getting this bottom plate off of this top plate than using a small screwdriver. And sometimes it will bend the edge out like a little bit. But again, you have a working 9-volt wire now, and that to me is more important than having that little corner perfect. So I'm gonna build a few more. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and yeah, oops, let me knock that over. New 9-volt wire. So there you go. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.